Hello and welcome to mini tutorials on how to work your upper body for pole and dance. During these tutorials, you're going to work the shoulder joint, a little bit of your upper pecs, as well as your sternonucleomastoid, which are muscles along here in the chest. We're also going to work the scapula. Those are muscles along your shoulder blades, as well as your rotator cuff, your traps, your rhomboids, and so much more here. This series of exercises requires body weight, a mat, super bands, and you can either go with the beginner at the lighter or a little bit heavier with the medium band on the super band. We're also going to want to use some wrist weights for this. Don't forget to do a warm-up before you get started with some conditioning, as they are not quite the same thing. Our first movement today is called a scapular push-up. In a normal push-up, we hinge at the elbow. In a scapular push-up, we're going to lock that elbow out and allow those shoulder blades to do the movement. This is going to work your rhomboids, your scapula, your trap 3. It's very important to remember to keep yourself stacked and in alignment as if you're standing while you're in your plank. This means that your head is in alignment with your shoulders are stacked over your hips are stacked over your knees, and all the way down into the ankles. This also means that if your ankles are in alignment, they are not together. So the feet are going to be separated, the hands are going to be separated. We're going to stay right under the joint points in our plank, keeping the core nice and tight, squeezing the booty and the thighs so that we don't end up in a mountain booty. You're going to want to make sure that you web your hands and really push the full palm into the floor. Here is where we push those shoulder blades together and then push away from the floor. You'll notice that my elbows do not move. I am only moving those shoulder blades. Be careful to not allow your head to jut down or hang. This is called a pez motion or turtle, right? We want to keep that chin back, and you're going to do 3 sets of 8 to 10 of these guys. This movement isn't really beginner or intermediate. As you progress through it, you'll feel that you gain more mobility and range of motion within your scapular movement. Our second movement is also in a plank. This one is called a shoulder tap. You're going to come into your plank, and if you feel like you need more stability, because we have a habit of shifting side to side to keep ourselves stable until we have enough core strength in this movement, you may widen your feet into a triangle. We're going to alternate sides and just come up and tap the shoulder, bring it back down. Let me show you. Coming into our plank, and we're going to step out to create more of a tripod. You're going to come up and tap one shoulder, keeping the opposite arm on the ground. You're going to exhale each time you tap, so go nice and slow. Now, if we want to take this movement a little bit more advanced, you can move those feet in so you're straight in alignment, no V, and you're going to tap with your wrist weights on. Same movement, adding a little extra weight. You're going to perform 2 sets of these, alternating till you hit 20. On our next movement here, I'm going to sit diagonally so that you can see my profile view as well as the front of me. You're going to need your super band. Beginners, remember, use the lighter band. My intermediate folks, you can use something a little more along the medium band lines. You're going to double this guy over and place him in the center under your butt. We're going to point our toes and straddle open. You're going to grab your band, wrapped around the palm, and make a fist. Make sure you're even, otherwise it's going to feel too tight on one side versus the other. It might take a second for you to get there. Mine was bunched up. It's uncomfortable. You're going to place your arms in between those guys. Face your palms forward. This is very important. Make sure you stay stacked. We don't want any of this or any of this, as that's gonna hurt that shoulder joint. Now you wanna be 45 degrees, not a T, baby Y. You're gonna press through those elbows and exhale as you press to the sky. Keeping those toes pointed, pressing your core into the floor. The shoulders stay down as the arms press to the sky. You should have a flat top pressing to the sky. So if you're here or you're pressing forward, we're risking injury. So we're gonna stay right here at 45 degrees, keeping those shoulders down, pressing straight up, ribs back, hips in the floor. We're gonna do 2 sets of 12 of these. All right, for our next movement, we're going to stay in our straddle, nice and tall. The arms are gonna come out to the sides with our wrist weights on us. This move is for both beginner and intermediate with the wrist weights. So sorry, I think I touched my microphone. We do this in a warm-up oftentimes where we pulse. We're going to do the same thing, but a slightly larger movement. So you're gonna face your palms to the front, and you're going to come up and down in a controlled squeeze. You should feel your shoulder blades squeeze together and stay in place as you do this. You're gonna breathe steadily all the way through the movement, breathing through the nose and out your mouth. Once you've hit about 10 of those guys, 1, 2, so each down is a rep. You're going to turn your palm, face it to the ground, and do the same thing. Nice, slow, and controlled flaps. Here it is from the back. We're gonna turn those palms for this last demonstration, keeping those shoulder blades nice and tight, pushed into the floor with the booty, keeping the toes pointed. Everything is tight. Right about now, you should be feeling really burny. You're gonna perform 2 sets of 30 of these. 10 to the front, 10 to the ground, and 10 to the back. Make sure you're taking small rest in between each set that you do. All right, our last movement, you do not have to do with weights, so let's demonstrate without the weights first. These are called IYW. You're gonna lay prone, which is on your stomach, on the floor. As we do this, we're keeping our ribs all the way to our toes into the floor while lifting just our chest, shoulders, and head up off of the ground. I'm gonna show you in a second after I explain one more thing. Be mindful of that belly button. We don't want it pushing into the floor. This will pull the spine with you and cause low back pain. So we're gonna lie down, prone on the floor. And again, we wanna be careful not to push that belly button into the floor. We're gonna pull everything up. You see that change? Push, don't do that. We're gonna pull in. So it should feel like you're kind of sunk to the floor and everything is contracted, but not pinching. I like to plant my toes in this movement. As you can see, my toes are fully on the floor. I do not have pointed feet, I have flexed feet. My arms are going to extend into the front of me. An I is here, a Y is out here, and a W is back here. Now, as you lift yourself up off of the floor, you're gonna start with your head on the ground and then move your body as one unit. I'm gonna show you because it's gonna affect my microphone right now. You're gonna stay up here, go I, Y, W. I, Y, W. As I stated before, you can do this with wrist weights on if you want that little bit of extra challenge. Make sure you're keeping that belly button nice and tight and breathing through the movement. Each W equals your rep. You're going to do 8 of those at 3 sets. Okay, my queens, kings, and emperors, that is your upper body conditioning for this lesson. Don't forget to come back for lower body, core, and more progressive moves.